Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to NFL Thoughts. Why did I do it like that? Anyway, so these are my NFL Week 15 results, or my NFL Week 15 predictions review. And it's time to go over our picks. I just want to point out we went 11-5 this week. But there are two picks that I made this past week, that I'm very upset that I got them wrong. The Cowboys beating the Jaguars, and the Philadelphia Eagles losing to the Chicago Bears. Had those not happened, I would have gone 13-3 in this prediction. In these predictions. But nonetheless, let's get through the picks and let's get through the predictions. 49ers versus Seahawks. Now, my prediction was the 49ers would win this game convincingly, 27-17. They won low scoring in a low scoring affair, 21-13. So, on the prediction scale, I gave myself a level 3 because I was somewhere around the point amount that I predicted these two teams to get. And technically, they kind of won the game convincingly, because remember that the 49ers were ahead 21-3. And then the Seahawks put up 10 points late in the fourth quarter. But nonetheless, I gave myself a level 3 on the prediction scale. But I did get that prediction correct. Colts versus the Vikings. Now, I predicted the Vikings would win in a blowout, 35-10. And boy, was I wrong. Because the Vikings, they had to come back from all odds, tall odds, to win this game. The largest comeback in NFL history, 33 points down, and then they came back and won. Colts, I don't really got much to say to you guys. I mean, Matt Ryan is your quarterback, so that's enough to explain about this choke job that you guys made. But the Vikings won high scoring, 39-36. So I gave myself a level 2 on the prediction scale. We're going to add up all these numbers, of course, and see how many points, we end up with. I actually forgot to do that and talk about this stuff for last week's prediction review. We're actually going to go over all of this in this video and be a little bit more serious. Ravens versus Browns. I said that the Ravens would win this game down to the wire, 21-19. And then they lost convincingly, 13-3. Now, technically it was low scoring, but because the Browns did win by 10 points, it was a convincing victory for the Browns. I got that one wrong. Dolphins versus Bills. I predicted the Bills to win this game convincingly, 28-17, because I didn't think that the Dolphins offense was going to show up like they did. But I can tell you one thing, they definitely showed up and showed out compared to the standards that I was putting on them. It wound up being that the Bills won high scoring, 32-29, and I gave it a level 3 on the prediction scale because, it did end up not going as according to plan. But, I'm not gonna give it a level 2 though, because I mean, like, the Bills did score around the point amount that I predicted. It's just that I didn't expect to happen what happened with the Dolphins. So, Eagles versus Bears. I predicted that the Bears would win this game high scoring, 41-35. And this was still a good game that the Bears definitely could have won. They had their opportunities. But the Bears being the Bears, they fumbled on a drive. They got sacked and knocked themselves out of field goal range on a drive. And then another time they got sacked, but they still were in field goal range, but they just decided to punt because they didn't trust their kicker to kick in the gusting, blowing winds that were going on in Chicago, the windy city. So they wound up punting it anyway. So yeah, this was a game that I don't think the Eagles won, but the Bears just lost. But nonetheless, I lost on this prediction. Eagles did win 25-20. They managed to escape with a victory, quite like we did against Houston last week. Lions versus the Jets. I initially predicted the Jets to win this game low scoring. I actually predicted the Jets to win this game down to the wire. But I predicted the Jets to win this game down to the wire, 20-19. But after I found out that Mike White was going to be injured and he was going to be out for this game and Zach Wilson was going to play, I changed it. I actually said that the Lions were going to win down to the wire. I changed it at the last minute, like right before the game, like the night before. I should have clarified this to you guys, but for some reason it just kind of slipped my mind. I was talking about the Cowboys Jaguars game and stuff, and that game between the Vikings and the Colts, that I forgot to talk about the Lions-Jets game, and that I actually changed it up, kind of at the last minute that night. And boy, did I hit the nail right on the head on this one. I said that the Lions would win this game down to the wire, 20-17, and they won 20-17. So because of that, because I predicted how they were going to win, and because I predicted the actual score, I am going to give this a level 5 on the prediction scale. I actually got the, final score correct. Everything. The Lions scored a game-winning touchdown with their tight end, and the Jets had a chance to, tie the game up, near the end of the game, but then their kicker missed the field goal, and so the Lions came out with a 20-17 victory. Steelers versus the Panthers. I predicted the Panthers to win this game in a low-scoring affair, 17-14, and I was wrong. Like, I never know when to pick the Panthers. I never know when I should pick them to win or pick them to lose. So I just hope this doesn't continue to be a reoccurring thing for these final 3 weeks. Nonetheless, the Steelers did win down to the wire, 24-16. So that is a loss for me. The Chiefs versus the Texans. This game did not go by any means how I expected. Maybe it is that the Texans are starting to look like a different team here down the stretch in December. Because now it makes that close win against the Texans last week not look that bad. Because the Chiefs, it took them overtime to beat Houston. But nonetheless, the Chiefs won, so I still got the prediction correct. But they won down to the wire in overtime, 30-24. So I gave it a level 1 on the prediction scale. Saints versus the Falcons. I predicted the Saints to win this game convincingly, 24-14. And they won in a low-scoring affair, 21-18. So I gave it a level 3, thanks to the Saints and the points amount. And, they won the game. So nonetheless, I got it right. So I gave it a level 3 on the prediction scale. Cowboys versus Jaguars. I predicted the Cowboys to win this game in convincing fashion, 31-17. I thought we would end up beating them by 2 touchdowns. We had more than a 2-touchdown lead, and well, the rest of the story. Jaguars won in a high-scoring affair, 40-34 in overtime. I went over this already last night and even the day before. This defense is starting to make me not be a believer a little bit. Like, they did not look good. And I don't know, they just played terrible. They played terrible. Cardinals versus Broncos. Speaking of terrible, this was a terrible pick. I predicted the Cardinals to win this game in convincing fashion, 20-10, but then Colt McCoy apparently had to come out of the game due to a concussion, and so some third-string quarterback for the Cardinals came in, and the Broncos took full advantage, and they won convincingly, 24-15, and that was a loss. Raiders versus Patriots. I predicted this to be a very interesting game, a high-scoring game, and that's what you got. The Raiders won high-scoring 30-24, but had it not been for a dubious move by Jacoby Myers, this game goes into overtime, and who knows what would have happened come overtime. Yeah, don't give Bill Belichick an extra quarter to be able to make some adjustments. So that didn't happen because Josh McDaniels caught a fortunate break at the end of this game. But nonetheless, I got the prediction right, and I gave it a level 4 on the prediction scale because I was kind of close. Titans versus Chargers. I predicted the Chargers to win this game convincingly, 31-19. But because they clearly underperformed in the points amount category, and they won low scoring 17-14, I had to give this one a level 2 on the prediction scale. But nonetheless, the Titans just look like they're falling apart right before our very eyes. And that's all, and I'm just gonna, leave it at that. Bengals versus the Buccaneers. I predicted the Bengals to win this game high scoring. I thought it was going to be a high scoring game. But the Buccaneers had a 17-0 lead at halftime. And then the Bengals came back and scored 34 unanswered points in the second half. And it wasn't like it was the fact that the defense just played horrible in the second half. It was 3 or 4 costly turnovers in their own territory that Tom Brady and the Bucs offense had that gave the Bengals short fields to work with. That's what happened in this game. And the Bengals won in convincing fashion, 34-23, thanks to a garbage time touchdown by Tom Brady and the Bucs. So technically it was a 34-17 blowout. But nonetheless, yeah, so I gave the Bengals a level 3 on the prediction scale because I predicted that 33 points were going to be enough for the Bengals to win this game, and they scored 34. So I gave it a level 3 on the prediction scale. Giants versus Commanders. I predicted that the Giants would win this game down to the wire 27-23, but because clearly the points were down in this game for both teams, especially the Commanders, I gave the Commanders a little too much credit for points. But the game did come down to the wire, and it did also come down to maybe not controversial, no call for defensive pass interference. But hey, everybody can voice their own opinion. Nonetheless, the Giants did win, and I gave it a level 3 on the prediction scale. Rams versus Packers. Oh man, it doesn't get any closer than this. I predicted the Packers to win convincingly, which they did, 26-13. And they won 24-12. So I was 2 points off for the Packers, 1 point off for the Rams. And literally, the only reason why I was 1 point off for the Rams is because they tried to go for 2 on a 2-point conversion, and they didn't get it. So that's basically what happened. So I gave this a level 4 on the prediction scale. So when you tally up all the points for the ones I got right, the picks that I got right, and the prediction scale level numbers, it all adds up to 33 points. So I earned 33 points off of my NFL Week 15 prediction review. So this is a pretty big comeback from a week ago. So Week 16, I'm hoping we do even better. So at least in a predictions standpoint, because I would like to do better, and get games like the Lions-Jets game more, where I predict the exact score. Nonetheless, that has been my time. Like, subscribe, and this is NFL Thoughts, out.